Put the
A big one.
Put the crown on someone's head is what I was going to say. And it's going to either be the same head or a lovely round French and Russian head. Which way is that one going to go?
Not sure, to be completely honest, but we're going to find out in this matchup. It's a best of 3. Zookeepers defending the throne. They want another crown. Ultimately, it's going to be whether or not they can lock it in. Realistically, they're in a good position. You've got a great wrap here already from Outsiders, showing that they want to keep that aggressive play style up. It got them the win against Lights Out. Will it get them the win against Teiko? A slightly different comp here, obviously, with the medium in play. But realistically, do we think that makes much of a difference?
It can do, but it may not. I guess we just have to wait and see. Barricades waiting. We're seeing this a lot, and it's going to be the talk of the tale of how good barricades will be, how they will stop and make plays awkward and annoying. But you have to admit, this is one of the hardest sites on the Zombie Citadel. It isn't a clear-cut 3-floor building because there's such an open space with bridges to get you over to that B site. It makes it awkward in itself. Outsiders alone with health. That team map is perfect, and the wing lands exactly where you want it to be. Realist. The clutch monster drops to the floor. But it hasn't traded from the Roma. They need to find a way to get rid of a Teiko, eliminate him from the lobby so the repeat of bodies doesn't come through. Tech left alive, and Zookeepers drop to the floor, and that first full engagement. Not the start they want to see if they want to keep the throne on their heads.
Yeah, it's rough for Zookeepers considering that they had such a strong start, but for Teiko, they're going to be able to lock this one out pretty easy. You only have one very quick attempt here if you're a Zookeepers player. And look at this setup. You've got the ATS to cover. And ultimately, Tech drops on down from a misplaced gate. So that's a difficult one to swallow, unfortunately. And all that time is lost. And this is going to mean Teiko definitely walk away with that freebie. Considering that they don't get another chance now. They've had to go and retrieve their teammate. Teiko seem to some degree know that this is the case, but they're going to rotate away. They don't have to stick around, and that is really well read. Zookeepers, just a bit of a shame, unfortunately, for Tech falling into the abyss there.
Yeah, misplaced gateway. You have to make sure that you're using them correctly to get across the bridge. We know that the entirety of Teiko will be looking at them as they cross, so I think pressure just got to them. However, you forget about what happened previously, you adapt and you overcome. Right now, Teiko, they're in a prime position. Again, look at where they are. They are defending these cash box. And Zookeepers, yes, they're going to be able to move this vault a lot closer to the front. They're going to be prepped and ready. But the reality is that cross, that open street. I would not be wanting to cross that in the middle of the night.
Especially not when any of these teams are running around. Probably not going to get across. Lockbolt hits though. Zookeepers in trouble. Teiko starting to press the matter. They want to get aggro, but it's Zookeepers that find the first. Pika goes down. OG looking like he's going to be the second. If Teiko can't do something to save his teammate, he does manage to find one and get the defib off as well. Doing what a great medium always does, but he's spotted. He's punished. OG now also falling. It's just Pika and Tech in a 1v1. Who can revive the fastest? Tech's going to be finding the first. He's going to put one on the board. Realist is back in the fray. They have control here as well, though. So it is Teiko that has to disengage, grab a body, find a revive, which he will manage to do now. Puts a Teiko back in, but it's a full 3-man for Zookeepers once more. And half of this cash out already being gone, Hyper, does not make Tycho's job any easier.
Teiko, they need to find a way back in. A minute left on that clock. And Zookeepers, they're waiting patiently. They don't have to do much, and that's great information. The perfectly timed sonar grenade. And immediately Teiko backs away, disengages. They don't want to fight anything here. I say that, but they are going to go for a risky steal. Gateway has been put on there for a quick getaway, and they're going to be fighting amongst the stairs. Who would have thought the engagements would happen while you're looking up and down amongst each other? Both sides, again, disengage and rethink their plan.
Something has to happen here, but it's a great positional thing from Tech. He's managed to lock out one for Teiko, and they all now start to fall. Dominoes tend to do that when they're in that position, but it's Realist once more in the heavy zone, locking down these altercations with his winch. He's going to force it to a third, and Teiko, it's not as decisive as they would have liked, but there's a reason these guys have a crown hyper. It's because they just want it that little bit more. They are going to keep it going and keep on rolling in good posture for their first match here, if they can do that again.
Height again. Talk point, talk point, talk point. Height. No matter what is talked about, Zookeepers are constantly looking for it. And we know that European players will adjust that left, right, and center. The Zookeepers are more reluctant to give it away as that winch just lands exactly where you need it to be. OG and Pika already on the floor. A Teiko left alive, and the only hope of getting someone up quickly is himself. Hello, a Teiko. Hope is still on his side.
You got to remember, he's going up against Realist, who has been the clutch god. That quick defib and a coin from Pika means 3 strong versus 2 is a pretty good position. Looking down the stairs, could have found some damage if he chose to stick it out. But ultimately, it does push on back. They want to start maybe getting some movement here on 3. And they will look to do just that, as Zookeepers also coin into their third as well. Lockbolt doesn't land. It does come close, but not quite, as Tech looks to push on in. A Teiko caught off angle and punished for being in such a bad position. Winch does not connect there for Realist, so he doesn't manage to pull one in, but in good positions. Mind you, Thermal Ball is going to open up the playing field here and give them another option, but Teiko have already backed on out. They want to disappear. They want to get Teiko back if they can, or completely disengage from the fight, realistically, or maybe even cover this box. They want to watch for the grab. Pika's in a good position to do so. OG's been caught out by one. He's not going to get Tech for his troubles. Teiko coins in, and ultimately Teiko are back at square one.
At least it's going to be easier this time, knowing that you have a defib there to quickly get you back onto point, but Teiko's going aggressive. He played solo, not with the team, and now he's going to have to get rezzed up in an awkward position. Zookeepers, free run to put the vault into the cash out. And all this does is just slows down Teiko's pace. Zookeepers staring down the barrel of map 1. And let's add some insult to injury. Cash box in the alley.
Again, a difficult position for Teiko. We talk about it often when we see these open layer cash boxes, but this is where DMAT's going to come in handy. Winching on in, but no, just caught. Hang on. This is in a good spot. This is in a great spot, actually, with that DMAT closing up. Lockbolt's going to be able to deny. The shield going up as well. The barricade makes things a little bit more difficult, but they opt to not go for the steal. They have to take the fight. Realist goes down. OG's taken out quickly, so now it's just a battle of the lights. Defib comes out from a Teiko. Medium back in the fray as well. What can you do if you're Zookeepers? You've lost your clutch potential. They need to go for a steal again, but because that cash box is halfway through the wall, the DMAT doesn't close. Outsider does his best to try and deny. Tech as well from an upstage position, but ultimately, Teiko have found the box, and this is bad. If you're a Zookeepers fan, they may lose this first match.
Is it still in the same place? We haven't had another shot. Yes, it still is. Theoretically, you could do the same from the outside, and Zookeepers are going to try and rinse and repeat the same strategy that Teiko used against them. Unfortunately, Tech down low. Now Outsider gets eliminated. And this makes it a little bit harder for Zookeepers to retake this with 30 seconds left on the clock. This push has to work. Realist again nearly goes for the clutch. And unfortunately, call that map. Teiko will say thank you very much.
I will say, off the back of that DMAT right there, that was the difference maker. Having the ability to get in and lock that wall down with those barricades, having that ability to have such a small window for opportunity, gave them the ability to steal in such a safe position, especially with that lock bolt and play from OG, completely just denied any chance of anybody getting close to who was stealing behind the shield. And that was perfect utility usage. The barricade paired with that lock bolt as well as the DMAT, you don't get that interaction if you don't have that utility. You either have to play wall open or wall closed. You're either in the alleyway, in the building, or there's just a big hole in the middle and you've got no protection. That was what Teiko was struggling with. And that is where that DMAT has helped them. Whether or not that's a lucky interaction, mind you, it got stuck off the back of a winch that just missed. So if they don't have that DMAT in that situation, they don't get that. They don't get that second run. But that was really, really lucky. Hyper, I know that was close, but they've walked away with map 1. How do you think they did?
I think there were the ups and downs, much like any game, but Teiko definitely looked like the stronger team of the two. Don't take it away from Zookeepers. Again, they put up a match that definitely kept Teiko on alive, kept Teiko thinking in a lot of scenarios, but realistically, when it came to map positioning, when it came to defending, Teiko was stronger. We saw, again, let's just take that last cash out because it's fresh in our minds. When they went to attack, it was frantic. It was uncontrolled from the Zookeepers when they saw that this cash box is in and out. It was in a weird place. But then as soon as the roles get reversed, there seemed to be a setup in place. They were already above them. They had height. They had sight lines to play off. And they used them to counter what would have been the same strategy that got them the steal. So realistically, I truly believe, and looking back again from first and second cash out, Teiko were the stronger team in this map. But it also begs the question, was it their map pick?
Well, we are loading into Sizz now for game number 2. Hyper, we're not going to wait too long here. And unfortunately, we're not going to get any opinion from Bab on this one. We want to get things rolling. Now we've got somebody on the throne as well as somebody contesting them. But I was about to say the same thing. P90 in the hands of a Teiko. Not one that you often see on the mediums nowadays.
And I think at the end of Season 8, people were eyeing up the P90. And then come Season 9, it became more of a discussion of, hey, the P90 is actually decent. Come now, we're in Season 10, it's one of those weapons where if it's in the right hands and used correctly, absolutely, it is a weapon that is powerful. But it also kind of links back to this whole argument / conversation of what is meta, what isn't. We're in this situation where you could pull anything out, and realistically, it is beautiful to use.
Great gun, no recoil. I mean, if you hit all your shots, it is really something that you need to be scared of, especially with a 50-round magazine as well. Lots and lots of damage. Speaking of, we're about to get to see it go to action right now. Barricade spam comes out. Teiko, he's looking to find some, gets the defib off as well. OG back in the fray. Pika finds one, and now it's just Outsider pushing on round, looking the wrong direction, unfortunately. It's going to be taken down by that P90, and that's a quick steal for Teiko, who seem to have a little bit more spring in their step.
Deja vu, shall we say. Teiko doing exactly what they did last time around. Get that early pick, early fight, say thank you very much. And Bob's your uncle, you have control. But one thing I just quickly noticed, not winching out into the alley, instead using the offices and the multiple floors it provides. Because once again, a Teiko running DMAT. And we know, we saw that in the Lights Out game on Fortune. Adds a little bit of fear into your opponents and creates beautiful weapons.
Yes, we love seeing it happen. P90 as well, the beauty of it is the bullets go straight. You don't necessarily need to aim them Pika takes down Realist, and they're trying to chase out these kills. They know they have the ability to. DMAT onto the stairs as well, and it's going to be a quick lockdown here for the remaining members. Lockbolt doesn't land, but it doesn't matter. Winch is there. OG's got it. Teiko find themselves once again waiting around for something to happen. It's 15 blissful seconds of nothing as they lock in their first vault here as well, mind you. Not another attempt on this one for Zookeepers. Not long enough left on the clock for them to play with. Going to get a quick rotate from Teiko back towards mid, centering for that next vault. And ultimately, a great start to what is possibly their first crown point here, should they walk away with this one.
Nailed it on the head. One cash out away, and both Zookeepers and Teiko could be walking out with a crown on their head. Of course, Zookeepers, they would love number 2 to be a championship crown. It's a new one for this tournament, but they would 100% like to be in that scenario. Sit on the throne for another set of cash outs and best of ones. Would be very comforting. All while this little ramble's been going on. Teiko found a bit of height once again, and Zookeepers opting to stay below, even though they don't have the tools to play on a lower platform.
They got the damage though, but they just need to find a position that they can use. Zone goes out, shields come up, and great use of that H infuser, keeping OG alive. Some good damage onto Tech. He is forced away and almost taken out of this fight, but it's OG to chase. And Teiko with that P90 finding one. Great damage onto another, allowing Pika to collect it. And that is where dividends come into play. Tech now the last alive for Zookeepers, and is it going to be enough to get his team this box? Probably not. Takes the Mega, dives away, but Teiko and co, they're on a hunt. They want to find him. Will they? Probably not realistically. He's going to go away and do his best to waste some time, but he's got to wait for coins. He doesn't want to wipe too far. Unfortunately, he does. A lot of wasted time there. Had he just chose to stay alive, the coins were really close, and they've all got 3. He's staring down the barrel of match point. Probably not a good choice to wipe there.
That's a mistake. I understand what the intention was. Peck tried to make sure that Teiko was slowed down, that they weren't going to put in the cash box, start the cash box up. Unfortunately, just over-aggressed, and in doing so, we're already looking at about 1:30 left on the clock. It may seem like an entire round of other FPS games, but let's be real, in this game it could go very, very quickly as Realist, the Clutch Master, is quickly sniped away. So is Outsider, and once again, Tech left alive.
Finally waiting this time. Not getting aggressive.
Not to get wiped. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah. I want to highlight a very big momentum shift here for Teiko. They've clearly been taking their notes, and they have found out what they need to do to just stop Zookeepers dead in their tracks, and that is take Realist out of the fight as quick as you can. They are utilizing that defib so well, with the Teiko prioritizing revives, to the point where if they can get rid of Realist, the lights are honestly not having as much effect as they have in previous matchups. And they're waiting for time wasting too. They are wasting so much time. I mean, you saw that gateway just there. They wait until they hear him. They know they have to check. Lockbolt comes out. Some great utility, mind you, to follow it. With the APS as well, keeping them relatively nice, safe, and happy. They have to get them off this steal, and they're going to do just that. Winchclaw gets involved. They trade it out, though, perfectly. OG, yes, he's dead, but there you go. There's the defib straight away. And ultimately, Hyper, I don't think there's much left to be desired here for Zookeepers. Outsider was the last one alive, but with finding that kill, Zookeepers go down, and Teiko find themselves a crown of their own with a very, very quick 2-0 on that second game.